On today's show, GM is getting ready for the next downturn. Ford's Econoline could end up being the oldest platform in production. And are you ready for $40 car washes? All that and more coming right up on Autoline Daily. This is Autoline Daily, the show for enthusiasts of the automotive industry. Even though new car sales could be headed for another record in the American market this year, General Motors is preparing for the next downturn. GM hosted a dinner with Wall Street analysts with CFO Chuck Stevens. He told them that GM is on track to cut costs by $5.5 billion over the next 2 years, and that if or when any downturn hits, it can take advantage of its flexible workforce. We take that to mean it will lay off temporary workers. Even though GM does not see any downturn yet, it wants to be ready just in case. Stevens also told the analysts that GM is just now hitting the sweet spot of its product cadence and will be relaunching its passenger cars, crossovers, and select Cadillac models over the next 3 years. When Ford introduced the European-designed Transit van to the U.S. market, it probably never expected it to be so popular. Even though it's more expensive than the Econoline van it replaced, sales are soaring. So far this year, Ford sold 90,000 Transits, up nearly 37% from last year. It absolutely dominates the van market. We also thought the Transit would end up killing sales of the old Econoline van, whose base structure goes back to 1975. And yet, sales of the Econoline are hanging in there. They're the same as last year. And now Auto Forecast Solutions reports that the Econoline will remain in production until 2021. That means that basic platform will have been in production for 46 years. Can any of you think of a present-day platform that's been in production that long? When we drove the Chevy Bolt back in January, we thought the big story was its 200-mile electric driving range. Turns out, there's a lot more to the story. More on that after this.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone Tires, your journey, our passion. Dow Automotive Systems, advanced materials that deliver better results. And by Lear, a global leader in automotive seating and electrical systems.
Just a few weeks back, we showed you some pictures a viewer sent in of an autonomous Chevy Bolt testing out in San Francisco. Now we're learning more about it. Cruise Automation, the autonomous tech company that GM bought for around $1 billion, announced on Twitter that it's testing autonomous Bolts in Scottsdale, Arizona. When the Bolt first came out, it made headlines for being the first affordable EV with a 200-plus mile range. But clearly, GM is counting on this car to be autonomous as well. When we interviewed Pam Fletcher at the CES show in January, she said the car was designed from the get-go for mobility services. And it sure looks like GM is planning to have autonomous electric cars as part of its car sharing and ride sharing business. Do you think any car company could survive without a design department? What if it didn't have an engineering department? It sounds impossible, but that's how Local Motors runs its business. To learn how they do it, don't miss Autoline After Hours this Thursday when our special guest is Justin Fishkin, the Chief Strategy Officer of Local Motors. It's going to be a fascinating discussion, and it's why we keep saying to join John and Gary for the best insights into the best industry in the world. Say, would you pay $40 to have someone wash your car? Me neither, but some people will, and we'll explain why coming up next.
For the people at Dow, racing is a sport and a science. We enjoy one and learn from the other. But like most competitive people, we like winning at both. This is the human element at work. Dow.
There's more car news and industry insight from the Autoline Network every day. Take a moment to click that subscribe button. You'll never miss another Autoline episode.
EV owners have a lot of time to kill while charging their cars, so why not wash it while you're waiting? According to Electric, Tesla is in talks with Eco Green Auto Clean to add its car washing service to its supercharger stations. And best of all for owners, it's eco-friendly. The wash uses less than a cup of water, along with a biodegradable spray and microfiber towels. But sources say the service, which will be subscription-based, won't be cheap. Model S owners would pay $80 a month for 2 washes, while Model X owners would be charged $90. Tesla is currently testing the service at one of its supercharger stations, so if that goes well, look for the company to roll it out to other locations in the future. Earlier this year, a lot of analysts were wringing their hands that car sales were slowing in China. Well, whoops, that's not happening. Sales of passenger vehicles jumped 23% in July to 1.6 million units. That's the largest monthly percentage gain in China since February of 2015. Tax incentives and dealer discounts help fuel the growth. And just like car buyers all around the world, Chinese consumers are snapping up CUVs. That segment was up 45% last month compared to just a 15% increase for sedans. Through the first 7 months of the year, automakers have sold 12.4 million vehicles in China, and that's a lot of cars. Well, with that, we wrap up today's report. Thank you for watching. Please join us again tomorrow.